Most people underestimate small money. 40,000 naira might look small, 20,000 naira might look small. In fact, 10,000 naira might look small. But remember, time moves really fast. 1 minute you are starting your career, another minute life goes on. Years pass, responsibilities increases, and so on and so forth. And the truth is, whether you like it or not, one day that work will definitely stop. But the question is, will your income stop also? The answer to that question depends on what you start doing today. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adeshola. You can call me Shows. I'm an economist, an investment analyst, and a chartered stockbroker. On this channel, we talk about everything investing and personal finance. If this is your first time here, I want to say a very big welcome to you. And if you've been following up with this channel, I want to say a very big thank you. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your shares. It means a whole lot to me. Please, if you've been watching my videos and you find my content helpful, kindly hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell so that you'd always get notified whenever I upload new videos. Money behaves differently when time and compounding are involved. When you invest consistently, something powerful happens. Over time, your money earns returns, and that return continually earns returns, and then the cycle continues for years. This is what is called compounding, and compounding rewards one thing above every other thing, and that is time. So let's imagine something simple. Out of your income or whatever it is that you earn per month or per time, let's imagine that you take out 40,000 naira consistently every month, and you do this consistently. You're not skipping any months, and you don't only do that when it is convenient. Even when it is not convenient, you try as much as possible to keep investing that amount consistently for months. And not just taking that 40,000 naira per month and keeping it somewhere in your house. No, that's not what I mean actually. But deciding to invest in assets that keeps growing every year, that gives you an annual return of, let's say, 12 to 15%. And in even most cases, you can even get more than that. But let's just be conservative and let's assume 12 to 15%. Come with me, let us use a calculator to see what that amount of money will yield over a number of years.
So now let's go right over to our compound interest calculator. So we are going to be making some assumptions. So let's say for the initial investment, we are going to be using the sum of 40,000 naira. So we are going to be having 40,000 naira there. So don't mind the dollar sign, right? So let's just put in 40,000. And then our monthly contribution. So we're assuming that every month we are going to be making a contribution of 40,000 naira every month. And also the length of time in years, let's assume 30 years at an estimated interest rate of 20%. And so we are going to be compounding this annually. Yes, so let's calculate it. Before then, let's just go over it again. We can see initial investment of 40,000, monthly contribution of 40,000 in 30 years at an estimated interest rate of 20%. So we are going to be compounding this annually, and let's calculate what it gives us. So wow, can you see the power of compounding? So with 40,000 naira contributed annually for the next 30 years gives the sum of over 500 million, over 576 million naira. And imagine the total contribution is just 14,440,000 naira. So just above 14 million naira contributed, and the future value is way over 576 million. So let's change our assumptions. Let's say, okay, let's say we want to make it 20 years, 40,000 naira contributed for the next 20 years at an estimated interest rate of 20% also. Let's also calculate this. Let's compound this annually and see what it gives us. So with over 20 years, it's giving us over 91 million naira. So that is to tell us that the more time you have to compound, the better it is. So if you've not started, I think it's better to start now. So it means that over the next 20 years, what will be compounded is just over 90 million. Let's also change our monthly contribution to 30,000 naira. Okay, so let's assume 20,000 naira instead. Let's say we want to contribute 20,000 naira for a period of 30 years. Also at an interest rate of 20%. Let's also calculate this and see what it gives us. So doing this, it gives us 293 million naira plus. So that is to tell us also the power of compounding. And remember, the longer the time you have to compound, the better. So if you've not started investing, I think it's high time you start investing.
Now, we have seen how 40,000 naira contributed every single month, growing at an annual average of about 20%, can grow into an amount of over 500 million naira. And don't forget, the amount that was contributed was actually 14.4 million naira. That is actually to show you the power in compounding. I know some of us may be like, oh, 30 years is a long time. 30 years is actually a long time. But did you remember when you started working? Did you remember? Maybe that was just 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. What if you had started back then? Do you see how time flies? The thing is, we always underestimate the power of time. When you allow your money to compound over time, you definitely reap the benefits. Remember, the key here is consistency. So now that we have established the fact that compounding does a whole lot of good, let us consider a few places that we can actually keep that money that can generate such kind of returns for us over that period of time. The first one I will talk about today is mutual funds. A mutual fund is a pooled investment. So many people put their money together and a professional manager invests that money on behalf of everyone, and each investor owns a small share of the whole portfolio. So instead of buying one investment yourself, you own pieces of many investments at once, and then a professional assists you to invest this money. So mutual fund is more like you investing and allowing a professional to help you manage that fund while you go to sleep. So there are different types of mutual funds. We have the equity mutual funds, we have the money market mutual funds, we have the fixed income mutual funds, we also have the dollar funds, we also have the Sharia compliant mutual funds, especially for those that want their money to be invested into Sharia compliant assets. So I have a video on this channel where I talked about how to invest in mutual funds, where I talked about best investment for beginners. In that video, you're going to see step-by-step guide on how to invest in mutual funds. I also have a video where I demonstrated how to use the Stanbic IBTC money market fund, how to sign up, and a guide through step by step. The second option I'm going to be talking about today, which is actually one of my favorites, and that is investing in the stock market. Investing in the stock market in recent times has really proven to be very, very profitable. In 2025 alone, the all-share index in Nigeria returned 51.19%. Yes, 51.19%. And in fact, do you know that there are some stocks that actually did over 400%? They returned 400% to their investors. So investing in the stock market is not something you want to leave out at all, especially if you have the intention of leaving it for a long time. And the beautiful part of investing in the stock market is the fact that these are companies that you actually relate with. Yes, you can relate with these companies. You go to bank, you use Access Bank, you use GTCO, you use Zenith Bank, you use consumer products, the likes of the industrial goods sector, Dangote Cement, Boa Cement. You buy data, you use MTN, you use Airtel, you buy palm oil, you make use of palm oil to cook every single day. Why not become a shareholder of them? So instead of just spending money on these companies, you can actually own a piece of these companies. So buying shares is one of the best long-term strategies because you can actually hold these shares watch them grow, enjoy dividends from them, and if you even ever need your money back, you can always sell your shares and exit easily. So I have a video on this channel where I talked about how to invest in the stock market. I have a video on how to invest in Nigerian stock market. I also have a video on how to invest in the US stock market. And in these videos, I did not just talk about them, I also demonstrated how to invest in them step by step. So kindly check the description for these videos. So have you been watching this video up to this moment and you are yet to subscribe to my channel? What are you waiting for? Please kindly hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell so that you can always get notified whenever I upload new videos. So another form of investment that you can actually do to generate this kind of return over time is ETFs. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Funds. So think of ETF like this. Instead of buying one single stock, you can actually buy a basket that contains many different stocks inside of it. So your money is spread out automatically and your return depends on how the fund performs. So behind that fund, you also have professionals. These professionals help you manage what goes in and out of the basket. So they are constantly reviewing the companies and ensuring that whatever asset is inside that basket aligns with the objective of that particular ETF. So I recently made a full video on how to invest in ETFs. Kindly go over to the description to check that video out. The next option I'll be talking about today is real estate investing. So this one can actually provide rental income and also long-term appreciation. However, if you don't have all the money to buy a land or a property, you can always begin with real estate investment trust, which is called REITs. So REITs allow you to invest in real estate with as little as 5,000 naira. And the beautiful part is that REITs are also bought and sold just like stocks on the exchange. So here you are still participating in real estate without needing millions upfront. Another one I would like to talk about today, especially for planning for your retirement, is contributing to your pension fund. So there is what is called additional voluntary contribution, AVC. So here, aside from your own contributions to your pension, which is a minimum of 8% in Nigeria, and that of your employer, which is a minimum of 10% of your emolument, you can also make monthly additional contributions to your pension. Remember, this is more like complementing your investments. And that brings me to the end of this video. But before I go, a few takeaways. Remember, your future is not built by chance. It is built by decisions that are repeated consistently. Start where you are. Use what you have. And let time and discipline do what your income alone cannot do. Also, remember the quote, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, but the next best time is now. So start today. So thank you very much for watching and catch up with you next time.